Hello, everyone. It's Rock Cran. Just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me right now. I'm just really feeling it. Zach did a video, and then, uh, what's his fucking name? Ertz. Anyways, a couple guys that I watch, they did these videos. One of them took an old comic by Mark Waid, and he showed how awesome it was, and it was one I used to own. Captain America #2 from the Heroes Reborn. And that's what got me back into comics. It was really, what got me back into comics was Heroes Return or Reborn. I can't remember, but it was late 1997 or so. I found Avengers #1 and 2 at Atomic Comics. My mom dropped me off there. I hadn't bought a comic in like 5 or 6 years, which seems like a long time in a comic buyer's life, but not so much in a regular person's life. I know that. But I was just in there and I saw, oh look, it's George Perez doing the art on Avengers, and hell yeah, I'm into that. So yeah, I picked it up and absolutely dug it, and I'm like, I have to continue to buy this. And there's an ad on the radio while I'm at home. Stalking Moon Comics, come check us out. We're in Prescott Valley, Arizona. And they're right next to Safeway, or in that, shopping center. And I was like, I gotta get out there. But when I first heard about it, I wanted to go there to get D&D stuff that they didn't have at Hastings. I had the newest issue of Dragon Magazine. It had all the new stuff in it, but Hastings didn't carry any of it because D&D was a fading line there at the end of second edition. But to me, it was, oh my god, it was going up and up and up. But anyways, so yeah, I went over there, ordered what was it? Return to the Tomb of Horrors. The Tomb of Horrors, everybody. Yeah, this is something I had to have because Bruce Cordell wrote it, and he was like my favorite second edition writer because he was a writer first and a game designer second. And so the stuff he wrote was written like a writer would write it. It's so hard to explain. Third edition was clinical. It was like reading a phone book, or either way, it doesn't matter. I was talking about Mark Waid here, and how much I respected him as a writer, and how much I love the guy. So anyways, Heroes Return, right? This is something I have to have. And every month, I get Avengers, and then, oh look, there's Captain America. I didn't know this was out. So I get the Captain America books, and then Iron Man. Alright, cool. They also had a Quicksilver book back then. I picked that up, and I don't know I have an idea what Marvel was trying to do. They put their best writing and art teams on these books, and so they could sell them to normies like me. I'm not a normie, by the way. I just say that because I love comics. But who doesn't? It's the coolest thing ever. Anyway, so, and they're like $1.99 a piece. So they're not super expensive. So I get them all. A Quicksilver even. And it was really good. And he was a former Avenger, so I liked it. But Avengers was epic level storytelling with Kurt Busiek and George Perez. I mean, that was my favorite book. But Mark Waid was over there writing Captain America, and an extreme leftist writing Captain America doesn't sound like a good idea, does it? I mean, that's who he is now, but back then he was a centrist, I think? I don't know. He wrote Captain America as a hero. He would do anything, go anywhere, and do anything to fight injustice. And he was a badass Captain America, And Ron Garney on art was doing like the coolest things. not super detailed, like John Cassaday. When he came in on Captain America, people lauded the art, and I was like, well, yeah, but Ron Garney was rad. But that's neither here nor there. Cassaday came in with a very detailed scale mail on Captain America's costume. It was cool. It looked beautiful and well detailed, but that's not the point here. Mark Waid wrote Captain America and wrote him very, very well. And he wrote Kingdom Come, and he wrote The Flash, and he created the Speed Force at DC. I mean, that has to stand for something. And he wrote Wally West, my favorite Flash. He wrote that book for a few years. I don't know how many. I don't keep track, but he was on the book for a long time with a lot of great artists, a lot of great people. And he wrote heroic stories about, these guys going out there and doing their hero thing. Not because they were paid to, or it was their job, it's because they wanted to. They're heroes, right? And, now it seems like it's just evolved into, like, identity politics. And whatever. I mean, if you want to pander to people who are never going to buy a comic book, go ahead. I mean, if that's your target market, Mark Waid, go ahead and do it. Just recently, I was reading a digital version of Legion of Superheroes from 1989 by Keith Giffen, Al Gordon, and Tom and Mary Bierbaum. And at the bottom, at the editor's spot, it said, Mark Waid. This is my favorite version of the Legion. This is the Legion that got me back into the Legion and kept me there, like my whole entire adult life. And Mark Waid's name is right there. Ugh. What the fuck happened to you, dude? Jesus fucking Christ. I know you're better than this, dude. I have this conceit. This is my thesis for the entire video. If you want to stay working at Marvel, you have to fall in line. And falling in line with them is, basically Trump derangement syndrome, far leftist negativity, and just being an awful, awful, awful human. I'd like to think that Mark Waid was bullied into this so he can keep his job there. I hope that's the case. I mean, I know he likes to say I'm the strong that stands up for the weak, but when, 12 weirdos on Twitter are calling out for you to either kiss the ring or be obliterated, I think he kissed the ring. I honestly believe he kissed the ring. I live outdoors, so. Anyways, I digress. No, I mean, there's no way the Mark Waid that I know that was such a comic book creator, that was an amazing writer, that was he was the real deal. Like, to me, he was right up there with Frank Miller. He didn't have the depth of storytelling, but he always gave you something awesome every month with whatever character he was writing. You didn't have to worry about your characters falling into the wrong hands unless it was part of the story, Mark Waid was the man. I don't know what happened to him. And I hope it was just SJW Marvel got their hands on him and said, you're never writing a comic book again if you don't follow our political and, I don't know how you'd put it, Trump derangement syndrome nonsense. And it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. He goes from like the guy that wrote great stuff, and he continued to do that throughout his entire career, to this guy that just cows down to the lowest, most insignificant portion of the planet. Not the lowest common denominator, because that's me. I'm the guy that they should be writing comic books for. I'm just, an average dude. I'm the guy that they should write comics for, but no. They had to find a niche of, I don't know, I don't want to call them weirdos in this day and age, but anyone who says they're of not male or female gender. There's something else other than that. That's who he's trying to write comics for. Anyone who ain't a 45-year-old white man. Because you got to pander to those people. And, that's the thing. I don't know who those people are. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you who those people are. I mean, I grew up reading comics, and so did everyone I knew. That's why we were all friends together. Because we could not always agree on everything, but we could all share our comics with each other. Like, dude, this awesome story. Here you go. And they're like, nah, Captain America, I don't want to read that. No, dude, read it. It's good. And go back and forth like this kind of stuff. But nowadays, it's all trash. Coming out of Marvel. I mean, and events. And DC, I don't know, they did the Rebirth Initiative, which was, it gave me everything I wanted from comics. Everything I wanted from comics. And for a couple of good years, I mean, it was great. And then, I don't know, Scott Snyder decided to write an epic. And it still hasn't ended. It's like 4 years in and nothing's happened. No, it's basically the worst thing ever over there at DC. And Bendis, of course. Y'all know how I feel about Bendis. So, yeah, he took over on Superman and just destroyed the status quo that everyone liked. Everyone who was reading the books, I should say. Not everyone on Earth, because that would be a gross misrepresentation. But everyone who was reading the book liked it. It was Clark and Lois and John and doing things. Even the cheesy ones. When he's teaching John about the birth of America and the Civil War and all that. It was rad. It's just good comics for everyone. It didn't have an agenda, It wasn't trying to, like, if you're not a trans lesbian in a wheelchair, that's who we're looking for to read our comics. No, it's just everyone can read this and enjoy it. And it was so good. And Mark Waid used to write comics like that. Mark Waid used to be a guy that cared about comic books. He used to really put his everything into comics. And now he just half-asses political commentary. And leftist political commentary. And he's in a lawsuit with Richard Meyer. Y'all want to get in my video? Whatever. Anyhow, Richard Meyer is Comics Matter with your boy Zach. Check out his channel because it's got a lot of subscribers and he's a really good host. And he talks about comics all the time. And I just want to defend Mark Waid this one time. I mean, I hate what's happened to him. I hate the person he's become. I want that guy to, like, get into the de-evolution machine so he can go back like 10 years and become who he used to be. The de-evolution machine doesn't exist, by the way. But that's what I want. I want him to become the guy he used to be. Because he was a fantastic writer. He inspired me so many times. Oh my god. It's breaking my heart to think about this. Anyways, I guess it's a good place to stop. Y'all have a great night. And we'll talk to you later. Peace.